Hello, Jen. Hello, Eren. Nice to see you in the classroom. Let's first of all, as usually we do, let's check our audio settings. Hello, Svetlana. Good evening. Let's check our audio settings. Could you please confirm that you can hear me before we could move any further? Let's see. If you will not confirm, then I will be typing, but maybe you can hear me. At least my system shows that. Okay, perfect. Jen, thank you very much. Irene also. Okay. So there is a high probability that Svetlana also can hear me. We'll see. Awesome. So very nice. And it's quite exciting day because today is the 1st of September. So welcome to the autumn. And 1st of September, the plan was to launch that Learn and Practice laboratory. And from 1st of September, we are going to start our coaching circle. There are lots of things happening. And also, yeah, because practically just Iran is not our trainers of our Headway coaching group team. So Jen and Svetlana soon are going to be announcing our next module of our goal booster, and we will resume the whole powerful kind of adventurous work in relation to create my key, because it's time really to move it forward. There was a summertime and there were some not obstacles, but there were some things which I caused some interruption in that particular work. But now I think everybody is back from vacations, and I think we could resume all the stuff. All right, so let's move with our Learn and Practice Lab topic. So the idea, well, again, I was planning to go through the metastructure of beliefs, how we form the fabric of our reality. It is quite fascinating topic. It's really powerful. The only problem is that we've been running already for quite a while. I think I counted maybe 8 or 9 webinars in the last 2 months. So we were covering lots of material, and that's what bothers me a little bit, and that's why we have in a Learn and Practice Lab also have a kind of another option when people can join for deeper practice kind of area. And today, to be honest, I decided that maybe it doesn't make sense to load you with again with some kind of theoretical part, because the essence of what we are trying to achieve here is actually get it into your bones and get you to the practice. And today, I think, yeah, I will explain what I decided to postpone a little bit this particular topic and dive into the practice of something which we have learned already in the previous webinars. So I think it would be, so again, it's everything based on Robert Dield's book. And in terms of our procedure, first of all, I would like, again, as usually, I ask you to eliminate all disturbances so you can focus on our material today, and just really try to focus for 1 hour. Yeah, so we will be working together in 1 hour. You need to be not disturbed by any other sources of disturbance. We have plenty of sources around us. So please close your email programs or any other, maybe even close the door where you are sitting if you have a room which totally kind of dedicated to your work right now. Please make yourself somehow kind of more isolated, so it will keep you focused. Yeah? And in terms of Headway Learn and Practice Lab, as I said, because I think Erika, good evening, welcome to the classroom. And Erika is Svetlana. If you have opportunity to confirm that you can hear me, it would be great, because I just want to make sure that everything is fine with your audio settings. So far, Irene and Jen, it seems like okay, they could hear me. And I just want to make sure that everyone is happy. Okay, Erika, perfect. Thank you. Well, Headway Learning Practice Lab is going to be working from September. Today is the first day when the Headway Learning Practice Lab is open, and I will be doing very thorough announcement, and I will also spend a little bit of time explaining what that lab is all about. But by the name, by the title, you can already judge. It's about learning and practicing. And practicing is important, essential part of it. Unfortunately, it's great when you're attending webinar, when you have some, maybe you know already some material, so you'll just repeat it and repeat and recall it. It's very, very good for your brain, that's for sure. And then you have opportunity, if you are enrolled in a coaching circle, or you have a coaching clients, or you have a partners, you could practice that material. So in order to practice deeper, in order to practice on a regular basis, that's what the Headway Practice Learn and Practice Lab all about. The idea is for people who would like to dedicate some time for deeper practice, we will be inviting them on the Trello board. We will be creating special group of people who are practicing in a deeper level. And in the Trello board, I will introduce people with the home assignments for the week. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be enough for you to understand material better. Otherwise, what usually happens is that people hear some material, they say, yeah, it's nice, it's cool, and then 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, if you ask, usually they don't remember very much what they have learned, because the practice and listening, those are two different things. For example, last webinar I asked participants, like, do you remember what positive intention pattern is? Or do you remember what kind of patterns we already covered, or at least we went through that material? And so you couldn't, some of you at least. So far, for example, we covered positive intention, reframing pattern, and redefine reframing pattern. We already used those patterns in a real work with the client. I made some demonstration, yeah? And we used it in 4 steps change belief, like a chaining change belief pattern, yeah, or procedure. If you remember, probably on the second step of that 4-step procedure, we used positive intention reframing pattern, and in the 3rd step we used redefine reframing pattern. But again, how comfortable are you to use it, and how comfortable are you to apply right now with in a coaching session with some client? That's a question, and that's I would like to kind of to break through and make you practice it. So right now we are going through that particular practice with the, actually we are going to be covering today 3 reframing patterns. If you remember last time, I was not able to cover consequence reframing pattern. So as a result, today we are going to be really going just through the practice of positive intention, redefine, and consequence reframing pattern. All right? So jumping, yeah, that was, so I need to switch probably to another presentation, because that was what I planned today to cover, but we will be doing it next webinar. So meta structure of beliefs and internal states, expectations. It's really fascinating and incredible topic, but again, it's kind of, there are parts which are theoretical, and right now I just want to move you into the practical implementation type of work. So let me just switch my, like I'm gonna stop share, for example, and I will share another screen. Let me find the one which I need. Okay, probably This one is gonna be okay. Yeah, I think I supposed to open this one. Yeah, okay. That's the one. All right, so let's move. Yeah, all right. So, guys, in terms of reframing patterns, um, do you see the all what I just share my screen with? Could you please confirm that you can see that blue screen? Okay, okay, perfect. You can see it. So, in terms of reframing patterns, we will be in total, we will be going through multiple ones, and in total there will be 14 patterns. So please take a look at your screen. Intention, redefine, and consequence. You see right now the first 3 patterns. That's what we will be covering today. And during our work with the Headway lab in the first I think 1-2 months, we will be going through 14 reframing patterns, and we'll be not just going through theoretical part, but we'll be covering the and devoting lots of time to practice it. So how you could really implement it in a coaching session. So let's say today we are going to go for intention, redefine, and consequence. What I would like you to do right now is, there are several ways how we could practice it. One of the classical way which I usually apply or usually go for, it's everyone is posting some kind of limiting belief. And please post some belief, maybe the one which you somehow can relate to, or at least you know that limiting belief in depth. So you could somehow play, maybe, if it's not your belief, you could play the role of client who has that belief, because that's an intention. We need to somehow to demonstrate and to work with real client. And the only way to do it is to come up with some kind of, I'm not important enough. Okay, perfect. Svetlana, you already have some, as we already know, it's not the whole belief, but at least it's already a piece of it. And that's exactly how clients usually, I would say, exposing or demonstrating their belief. They give you just tiny small part. I am not important enough. So obviously to be important is some kind of value, and we could easily already explore what being important really mean. Yeah. And what would be the evidence that will tell our client that he is important? So what would be the cause of being important? So there are kind of, you're already familiar with those questions. Of course, we're supposed to define more precisely what exactly does it mean. Yeah, I'm not important enough, because people could mean, for different people it could mean totally different things. And if person, for example, important, what does it mean then? So where it's gonna lead? If I am important, then what? Yeah, there are multiple questions we're supposed to ask person in order to have a full belief, but right now let's just play with those pieces. I had a bad connection. Okay. Well, Jen, right now we are trying to come up with some limiting beliefs in order for us to work with. So Svetlana already posted, I'm not important enough. Irene, I'm not able to succeed. Perfect. And perhaps say, I find it too difficult. Okay. So I find it too difficult. Something, whatever. Yeah. I find it too difficult. So we have 3. Erica, if you come up with something, please, you feel free to post it also here. And let's start to work guys, let's, for example, Svetlana posted, I'm not important enough. The first part, if your client come up with that particular statement, what you usually do as a professional coaches, could you please type what you supposed to do when you hear that particular limiting statements? Yeah? I'm too slow. Perfect. Perfect, Erika. Very nice. So guys, as soon as you hear some kind of limiting statements, what is your reaction as a coaches? What you supposed to do? What would be your plan of actions? Not immediately, of course. You're not you're not a dogs, to jump. It's like there is some kind of bone and you immediately jump into it. No, you are talking with your client, but your ears already spotted, okay, there are some limiting stuff going on. Eren, what do you mean exactly when you say I'm not important enough? What exactly do you say when I'm not important enough? Okay, I'm curious, what does it really mean to you? Perfect. All right, so Jen, Irene, you are going through deeper investigation, yeah? So you are bringing and exploring what exactly those words mean, yeah, for your client. Perfectly, it's exactly what I would like you to do. We call that phase pacing. Pacing, I mean, we are investigating more and more. We are asking lots of questions before we could even make any attempt to move person forward. So we are eliciting lots of information. Maybe we are asking also to some questions which would allow us to get pieces of beliefs which are missing. Because, for example, in Svetlana case, I'm not important enough. So I'm not important. So we have some kind of connection with the value. Being important is obviously a value. Yeah. And do you remember where the value and criteria are in the belief structure? It's like a third part. Yeah. So what we are missing is the evidence, and we are missing the cause. So I would be easily kind of immediately asking, what need to happen in order for you to be important, or how would you know that you are important? So what with that particular question, tell me please what I will be eliciting, what kind of belief structure. Do you remember the beliefs has like a 3 parts: cause, evidence, and meaning, yeah, or value. So by asking what need to be in place and how would you know that you're important, what kind of part I would be eliciting? Evidence. Okay, perfect. Evidence. Thank you, Ren. Thank you, Jen. Yes, we are eliciting evidence. So we need to know what need to happen and what kind of criteria, what are the evidence which our client looking for in order to make conclusion that he is important. Yeah, because obviously the evidence is missing. And after we know evidence, whatever your client will say, for example, Svetlana, let me see, yeah, my boss takes my advice, or she listens. Yeah, that would be, for example, evidence pieces. Yeah? And then we could say, okay, now obviously your boss is not listening or not taking your advice. So that's why you come to conclusion that you're not important. But tell me, please, what would be the cause? What do you think is the cause that your boss is not listening? Or your boss doesn't take your advice? And then we elicit the first part. So now we would say, we would have a little bit kind of the sequence, yeah? The cause, evidence, and conclusion or meaning or value. And now we could say, okay, now I see why our client says, I don't know, that he's not important enough. So we elicited the whole kind of chain which our belief consists from. And then we could explore more, we could ask other questions and so on and so on. Guys, I mean, again, I repeat, you probably already know that, but I want to reinforce and reinforce. So we worked with a client, and now we elicited lots of different pieces. We might elicit even some beliefs which are connected with this belief. We call it like a cluster, yeah, a group of beliefs. And after exploration, after pacing, after we know what exactly he means by saying certain words, now we decided, okay, it's time for intervention. Now we go for a certain particular part and decided to implement intention reframing pattern. How we are going to do that? Let's say eventually after all exploration, we decided, okay, that's when client said, I'm not important enough, that's going to be the part which we will be going through. And we will be implementing intention reframing pattern. Guys, I would like your opinion how you're going to do that. So how your clients ready, and as a coach, what kind of questions you could ask your client in order for you to move and to apply intention reframing pattern. Guys, you will not be able to, of course, to implement the whole intention pattern asking one question. It's not. But I would like right now to know your opinion, how you will start, because after that we will practice the real situation. But how would you start? What kind of question you would ask in order to move your client into the intention redefining area? Svetlana, what specifically do you want to feel? Okay. Honestly, Svetlana, I wouldn't say it's intention redefining pattern. I understand what you are asking your client. I mean, it is an intention. You are eliciting his intention to be somewhere, but intention reframing pattern. It's a little bit different thing. Guys, do you remember what intention pattern is all about? Like, can you please define it? So maybe it's gonna bring some clarity, and then it's gonna be maybe easier for you to practice it. So what does it mean? What is the essence of implication of intention reframing pattern? Second gaining? No, not exactly. And what specifically do you want to feel? It's not. It doesn't really belong to reframing strategies. It's a little bit different one. If you already aiming into the solution zone, you already moving them towards the destination point. You will try asking this question: what specifically do you want to feel? You are asking. You are working with your client in order to define destination point, especially point related to the feelings, and point related to those kind of modalities, yeah, related to your feelings, yeah, and to his feelings. Guys, so far I don't see that you are having any ideas so far. No, yeah. Okay, let me go for like a official. Let me just jump into official intention. Let's read what intention reframing pattern is all about. Directing attention of our client to the purpose or intention behind his belief. So we are getting into the area where, okay, you have this belief. You have this belief that because your boss, whatever, I mean, is not, not respecting you, and as a result, he is not listening to you, so you feel that you are not important enough. So that's a belief, obviously. The question is, for some reason, you formed this belief that if someone is not listening to you or not following your advice, it means that you are not important. So what we need to move our clients too, in which area, we need to ask them somehow that he formed this particular belief for some reason, right? It's formed. What does it mean, the belief formed? It means that he repeated that kind of thought multiple times, probably 1,000 times. That's how belief formed, right? He is repeating and repeating and repeating that particular thought. Every time when someone is not listening him or not following his advice, he has that thought. So that's how belief is formed. And our question is supposed to, which we will be asking our client, we're supposed to ask our client, yeah, for some reason you're repeating this thought. Tell me please, is there any purpose or intention why you're doing that? Obviously, it serves you. Obviously, everything what we do has some particular intention. Maybe right now you're not aware of that. And that's my question to you is, what would be, let's brainstorm, what would be some positive intention behind you forming this particular belief? Yeah, so that we are going into the roots why our client has that belief. Because obviously he formed it to serve some particular purpose. And now our task as a coach is to define that purpose. So what we are doing here, we are digging for positive intention behind formation of that particular belief. That's why that reframing called intention or positive intention reframing pattern, because we are digging into the positivity of having this belief, even though it looks like a negative one. Right now, it looks like a negative one, it's like a limiting one, but it's definitely served some purpose. So in the beginning, maybe, I don't know, 20 years ago, when the person formed it, it served some particular purpose. And now it's time to dig for it. Guys, does it make sense what I'm saying? Is it clear what positive intention reframing procedure is? We are digging for purpose or intention behind certain belief. Jen, it's clear? Guys, if you have any questions, any doubts, please ask right now, because we are about to practice and I need to understand. Okay, Irene, absolutely perfect, thank you. So Jen, Irene are happy with the explanation. So let's try to work with Svetlana. Guys, anyone wants to, okay, let's do it like this. Let's do it because I think it's nice when all the group is participating. So Svetlana, if you are able to switch your microphone on, if you are able to talk, could you please confirm that you can? And if you are not, yeah, okay, we need to kind of figure it out how to do that. But it would be great if you would be able to, let me unmute your microphone. And if you're able to talk, if you could say a few words, if you are in a comfortable place to communicate, please let me know. I unmuted your microphone already. I hear you typing. So maybe you could say a few words if you're able to. My second gaining or positive intention behind this belief is to voice and share my knowledge. I'm not able to talk. Oh, not able to talk. Okay, sorry. Okay, in this case, let me mute you again. All right, guys, in this case, yeah, we will be not as quick. So, but Svetlana seems like typing quite fast. It's great. So, guys, Jen, Erica, Irene, I would like you to formulate the question to your client. Right now, Svetlana is playing the role of the client. And I would like you to try to ask questions in such a way that you are moving your client towards exploration of the positive intention behind that particular belief which client has. I already did it, yeah, like a few minutes ago. I already formulated some kind of questions. And Svetlana already answered that. But I would like you to think, how would you ask Svetlana? In your own words. I would like you to type, because I think it's very important that, I mean, you produce your own question. How you would even ask your client to go in that area of exploration of positivity or intention or purpose of his belief? How you would you word it in yeah, it would be very important. And Svetlana already wrote, my second gain of positive intention behind this belief is to voice and share my knowledge. Yeah, okay. So our client, for example, she wants to share her knowledge and have a voice. And when people are not, yeah, that's interesting, Svetlana. You formed belief that you're not important. The belief is that if someone is not listening, you feel that you're not important. And the positive intention behind it, I don't think it's exactly what the positive intention of forming this belief that you don't feel important is that you would like to have a voice. So the that belief somehow makes you feel that you are neglected and your voice is not heard. Okay, yeah, it could be yeah, okay, perfect. It's good.
Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly well, Svetlana. Perfect. Svetlana, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you very well. So if you can, I was just curious about positive intentions behind formation the belief. Is it correct that I understood that having that belief helps you to be aware that you are not hurt?
Yes, I just had my coaching session with my regular client. It's not my belief, but I'm playing the role of her.
Of course.
I can do that. Yes,
okay.
I think it was a right interpretation on your part. If I feel not important, I'm not sharing my knowledge, and I am suppressing my own voice, and I'm not authentic, and I'm not truthful to myself.
Yeah, all right, clear. Guys, you heard what Svetlana said. She said it very clearly. So the positive intention behind formation of that belief is that that belief makes her immediately aware when she is not able to express herself and express your or being hurt by other people. So that belief probably hurts a little bit, and she immediately become aware that that's what happens. Well, the question is it positive? It is quite positive because she wants to be heard. There is nothing wrong with that belief. Yeah. So Svetlana, I understand Svetlana playing a role, but let's say that that's a Svetlana's belief, yeah, in order to not to complicate things. So Svetlana formed that belief for certain particular purpose, and that's one of the intentions. Svetlana, guys, have you produced any more questions similar to what I asked Svetlana? I just want you to even to remember what I asked. What was the question which I asked Svetlana? Could you please type? Because for me, it's important that you do remember what I asked her. For example, Jen, right now you posted, I'm curious, what do you mean probably by not being important? Well, it's not exactly positive intention reframing pattern. You are, again, right now, Jen, you are eliciting some parts of the belief which may be missing, because what exactly do you mean by it's not Yeah, it's exploration, it's a pacing. Right now, I would like you to move our client into the reframing work. And reframing using intention reframing pattern starts from digging into the positivity or purpose of the belief. Yeah. So I would like you to formulate the correct question. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Svetlana, you moved in a quiet place. I just reading. Which the purpose behind what you believe? Well, okay, Svetlana, if you would be asked by your coach, like, which is the purpose or what is the purpose behind what you believe? I mean, how does it sound?
I mentioned that before. When I feel important, I feel that my voice is matter. And I'm living in alignment with my own values, that I can voice my opinion in professional environment, and I can share my knowledge. However, my boss, what I see, he's trying to put me in the box.
Yeah.
He's not value my opinion as
Perfect,
much
clear.
as I value my own.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Svetlana. Clear. I'm just asking you as a, Svetlana, just for a second, take your hat, like a client's hat off and tell me, please, the question which Irena formulated. How is it clear for you as a client what she's asking? Which is the purpose behind what you believe? I mean, is it clear for you what kind of purpose? Is it clear?
It's actually living in alignment with my own values or not.
Okay, good, very nice. And Jen, so you are saying that you are not important enough. I'm curious, what is the purpose believing that? Okay, perfect. So that's, I like, okay, very nice, guys. I see that you understood what we are doing. Perfect. So we are digging for some kind of positive aspect behind this belief. And Svetlana already answered very clearly what is the positivity behind it. Guys, tell me please, what do you think we are achieving? Right now, we just ask Svetlana just one simple question. Yeah, what is the purpose? What do you think is the intention behind you are forming this belief? So what do you think we are achieving by asking those kind of questions? Could you please type if you have an idea? I'm going to give you 30 seconds. What changes when our client become aware that that belief has a positive intention behind it? It's that belief actually changing. I would say that belief is serving certain particular purpose, and that purpose is not negative at all. To become aware that you are not hurt, or that you cannot express your authenticity, or you, I mean, it's totally positive. There is nothing wrong with that. So what we are achieving, let me see if anyone is typing. Okay, not so far. No one is okay. Awareness and possibility to move forward. Okay, perfect, Irena. I see Irena typed some suggestions and comments. Idea, guys, is quite simple. Why we are digging for and how that positive intention reframing pattern really works. Usually, when we are pointing out that that belief is negative, usually what usually we start is some kind of war against belief. So we point our finger and say that belief is wrong, this is limiting, so let's fight with that belief. Well, usually what we fight against will persist. So in order to avoid that lone war, because beliefs cannot be changed by like direct fighting, what we usually do, it's like a Trojan, horse. First of all, we change perception of our client regarding this belief. It's not really the negative one. It's not a bad one. It's a good one. if we are able to find the positivity behind it, if we are able to find how it was formed, the belief served particular purpose. Maybe now it's not serving that purpose anymore. And now, so after our client defined and found some positivity, we could ask next question. Guys, what would be the next question which would help us to move our client towards reframing? Think about it. Right now, Svetlana already told us that she found positivity. Yes, she found intention and purpose, why she formed that belief. How would we move her forward in order to reframe and dissolve that kind of belief, to move to the next step? Any ideas? If you have any ideas, Svetlana, you're more than welcome to type also, or even say, yeah, right now you're unmuted, so you could even say, what would be nice question for us to move forward? What would be great question to ask you as a client, yeah, in order to continue our reframing process, starting from positivity and purpose behind belief?
How about reframe your negative belief and produce a positive one?
Yeah, that's pretty much the purpose of the reframing. But how we could do it in a very easy conversational manner. For example, we ask our client already, well, what do you think is, why do you form that belief? Obviously, it served something. And our client come up with the right, nice, positive kind of part of it. And now our next question would be, so, again, in a very conversational, easy manner, we could ask, we could say, oh, wow, it's really interesting, yeah, that having that belief really helps you to become aware. Is there any other way how you could become aware? And is there any other way how you can express or yourself, your authenticity, or have another voice? So there are two things how we could proceed. We could ask our client, if I ask Svetlana, for example, in a real coaching situation, I would ask you, what do you think right now? Somehow you use some kind of a little bit painful type of awareness. So if someone is not following your advice, you immediately feel that your voice is not expressed and you are not authentic. You are not able to speak up, yeah? Because people are somehow not following your advice, or they don't listen to you. So is there any other way how you could become aware of that?
It's very situational. I have this feeling only with my boss. However, I don't have this feeling even with my colleagues.
Okay, good.
The other way to be aware.
Yeah.
As I said, it's situational. I don't usually feel that if I'm not in my boss's office.
Okay, clear. Right. Okay, perfect. So my next question would be, when boss does not follow your advice, would it 100% mean that she is not hearing you, she doesn't want to listen to you, or maybe it could be some other reasons why your boss is not following your advice?
I strongly believe that she doesn't like me because I'm more popular in the office. I have more attention from other people.
Okay.
I formed
So,
another beliefs around it.
okay, perfect, clear. So the reason why the boss expressing certain particular attitude maybe has nothing to do with your voice or your opinion, because maybe she is gonna neglect your opinion in any way. It doesn't matter how smart or wise your opinion is. So maybe the reason is totally different. Am I right?
However, yes, and however, I don't see that she does the same to other people. When we have our group meeting, she always picking on me.
Yeah, so it's kind of attitude. So that we are talking about attitude which your boss seems like have towards you.
Yes.
But yeah, perfect. So Svetlana, when we are going into the natural kind of role-playing situation, of course, you see that we are shifting already out of that particular belief to maybe to exploration the why the boss has certain particular attitude. So we are shifting in, of course, in the natural coaching situations, we will be going in a very different ways, and eventually we will spot certain particular belief which we need to reframe. So right now, in an educational kind of situation, we still need to learn how to reframe belief. Yeah, so we cannot really deviate right now out of that. So we somehow I need to work with that particular belief. I cannot move forward because I need to demonstrate how we are applying positive intention pattern in order to reframe this particular belief. So I will not be following like a natural way of coaching session. I will not be following into the area of exploration how your boss has an attitude towards you. I will be sticking here with that particular limiting belief. So guys, have you spotted what I asked Svetlana first of all? After she expressed the positive intention, I asked her one particular question. Could you please type it? What was the next question which I asked her in order to start process of reframing this particular belief? I'm waiting. Maybe some people will come up with at least the. Is there any other way you can express your opinion? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was a second. It was a second part. The first part, guys, very important part. How we are moving into the reframing using intention reframing pattern is that as soon as we clear with a positive intention behind it, for example, in Svetlana case or her client case, the positive intention is to become aware, that she haven't expressed her voice and she was not heard, yeah, and she was not authentic by expressing her voice. And so I ask a question: is there any other way how you could become aware? Because right now she's using that belief to become aware. Yeah, that's what Svetlana told us. So the positive intention of this belief is to become aware. I was asking, is there any other way to become aware without that, without having that particular quite painful belief? Because if someone is not following advice or not listening to me, that's it. I mean, I immediately not important. I'm not heard. I cannot express myself, and so on, so on. So my question was, as soon as we elicited the positive intention, I was asking, is there any other ways which that positive intention can be realized? Yeah, is it, guys, is it clear more or less? What is the question? So first question we elicited positive intention. Yeah. The second question we are asking, is there any other way that positive intention can be realized, yeah, without having that particular belief, or any other ways? So that was one question we could ask our client, start to explore in that situation. Yeah? Guys, does it make any sense so far? What we are doing, how we could use positive intention reframing pattern? The idea is to destroy the belief from inside, destroy the belief, eliciting the positivity of that belief. So maybe to find the way that our client does not need that belief anymore. He could become aware, for example, through other means. Yeah? That's one way. It's one question I could ask Svetlana. Another question I could ask Svetlana in order to move forward using reframing, intention reframing pattern is that please think, are there any other positive aspects which that belief could be serving for? So right now that become aware, it's one thing which Svetlana immediately kind of came up with. But maybe there are some others. And so I could ask a question, okay, perfect. To become aware, it's one, definitely some positive aspects. Maybe there are some others. Could you please think for a while and tell me, are there any other purposes or intentions for you to have this belief? Is there any other positivity behind it we could find? Svetlana, give me an example when you feel important. Yeah, it's a good question. Again, it's totally good question. But Svetlana, this one, let me just think it one more time. Give me an example when you feel important. I'm just thinking, is it really belongs to the positive intention reframing pattern kind of procedure or not? Because what I sense so far, that question will be exploring evidences of how a person could feel important. So we are moving for criteria, eliciting criteria. What are his criteria or her criteria, our client's criteria, how he would feel important? So yeah, I mean, well, it's a great exploration questions, but right now I'm trying to explain and demonstrate how a positive intention pattern could work in a real coaching situation. Yeah? And so far, guys, there are 3 questions we come up with which related to positive intention reframing pattern. The first question, to dig for positivity behind belief. Second question could be ask to dig more, to come up with more examples of that positivity. Sometimes our client could come up with 2, 3 intentions or purposes behind belief. And that could be the case easily. If not, then we need to stick with the one which we have. And we could ask, okay, that particular purpose, can it be achieved by other means? Not by mean of being hurt, because that particular belief, it hurts. That's why we call it negative. The person feels neglected, not heard, ignored, and that negative feeling, make him aware. But unfortunately, of course, the client already aware, but he has a negative state. That awareness came from pain. Yeah, and our question was: is there any way we could realize the intention of being aware, avoiding pain? Is there any strategy, any ways how you could become aware without pain? So that would be my question to the client. And we could, we are exactly in the space of reframing and searching for the ways to avoid that pain related to this particular belief. And what happens next, guys? First of all, our client became aware that that belief serves positive purpose. Second, maybe he become aware that belief serves several positive purposes. Then we also exploring and trying to define the strategy, how he could realize that purpose by other ways. So there will be no need to keep this belief. So we're already challenging. If the purpose is to become aware, maybe there are 2, 3 other ways how the person can become aware. Then we don't need to have this belief anymore, if that's the purpose. Guys, does it make sense so far? It's a little bit tricky to, if it would be a real coaching situation, probably it would be much easier to explain. But right now we are doing a little bit artificial work. So when I tried with Svetlana to do real coaching situation, of course, we are shifting already to another belief, different belief. I mean, she already expressed immediately belief that probably her boss doesn't like her or have something against her. And that would be, if I would be a real coaching situation, I would be going actually there and, you know, and see maybe better to reframe that particular belief, not this one. But I cannot do right now a real coaching situation because it's going to take us quite a while. I would like just to try to explain you how you would be working as a coach if this one, the belief which we need to reframe, not moving to another ones. Yeah. Guys, could you please confirm, is it more or less clear what we've done and how positive intention could potentially work?
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, please, Svetlana. Yeah, sure.
The fourth question that you asked, Alex, can it be achieved by other means without pain?
Yes.
I would like more clarity about that.
Okay. Well, yeah, perfect. Thank you for question. Why we call this particular belief limiting? We decided to go for intervention in this particular area, belongs to this particular belief, and why we sense that it's limiting. First of all, our client feel probably high probability some sort of pain because he said I'm not important. I mean it comes from feeling to be neglected. Is it more or less? Does it make sense, Svetlana?
Yeah, and it's difficult to move from this place.
Yes.
I brought myself here, and I'm really embodied.
Exactly.
And it's not making me feel better.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. So the question is that it seems like our client formed certain particular way how to become aware, because we asked already why did you form that belief, I formed that belief in order to become aware that I am not hurt and my authenticity kind of not realized. And right now we are making our client aware that, well, so far you've chosen the way to become aware, quite a painful one. I mean, when you have that particular belief, it creates pain. And I understand that pain serve or make you aware. But my question as a coach, is there any other way, not painful one, to become aware? Because that's the purpose, yes? To become aware as a result. That's why you formed this belief. But right now you're choosing kind of quite a painful way to do it. Yeah, you feel neglected and you feel certain particular discomfort in your body, and kinesthetically it's very unpleasant, you know, when people are ignoring you and you. So as a result, my question is, in order to become aware that your voice is not heard, is there any other ways not as painful to become aware?
Yeah, and it actually makes me another way is not take this personally and think about maybe it's not my responsibility right now. However, I don't want to judge my boss. I can't work for someone who is not respectful. I started thinking maybe it's time for me to leave the company, because if I think that it's her responsibility and it's her limitations, not mine, I feel that I don't want to work with this person. Anyways, it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
From pain, I am connecting to my other value, which is freedom.
Yeah, totally makes sense. But guys, did you see what just happened? Svetlana already came up with some particular strategies. And again, as a coaches, we need to be aware where those strategies will lead us. One of the strategies I think I found quite interesting. Svetlana said that maybe I shouldn't take it personally. Well, okay, this is interesting thing. I mean, maybe it's possible to become aware that you are not hurt and you are not able to, authentically express yourself without feeling pain. So, guys, that would be the part which I would be really happy as a coach to explore more, and I would be working with the second part with much more kind of caution, because when you are making conclusion that I need to leave the company, it's kind of, for me, it's as a coach, yeah, again, it sounds like almost like a reaction, immediate reaction, quite negative one, that's the only way. So I would be exploring some other ways. Again, I understand this is the strategy to avoid pain, obviously. But maybe when we will find some other ways how to avoid pain, maybe we will bring our client to different conclusion. Maybe she doesn't need to leave the company. If she is not, because I need to explore, being in the company, what kind of positive aspects she has. Is it really worth, in comparison to those positive aspects, is it worth to leave the company? I mean, there are lots of other things are coming right now, but I don't want to go into the like a real coaching session and multiple variations. Guys, I would like you to point attention that our client right now already came up with some kind of a little bit pieces of new strategy. Not taking it personally, it could be one of the ways of reframing our belief, or change it, or remove pain out of that belief. And as a result, that's already, Svetlana, thank you very much for your suggestion and for playing the role. But that's how intention reframing patterns supposed to work. So our client right now see different ways, and one of the ways, first of all, the client see the positivity behind belief. Second, our client become aware that belief causes some pain. It's a cause of the pain. Now our client already searching for some, at least we have one suggestion, searching for new strategy, how to avoid and not to use this belief, strategy of not taking it personally. So I would be working with the client right now to define what would need to be in place in order for you not to feel like personal, like that too much offended, or what not to feel that particular attitude from your boss is the personal thing. When the boss, for example, is ignoring your advices or not listening. So what needs to be in place? So what do you need to have in order not to take it personally? So that would be my question to the client. And you see, it's already we are working on a strategy in order to use positive intention reframing pattern. We came to that from positivity. And now we are not really fighting, guys. We are not fighting. We are not pointing fingers that belief is negative. We need to destroy it. No, 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 no. We defined positivity. Now we are asking, are there any other ways to do the same thing? And then slowly, that's what sleight of mouse reframing pattern technique is all about. We are not fighting. We are skillfully kind of moving around, and slowly our client will discover that there is no need for that belief anymore. He become aware that it doesn't really serve any positive purpose anymore. It's painful and there is no need. There are other ways to realize that particular purpose and intention which is behind that belief. Guys, does it make sense so far? What positive intention reframing pattern supposed to, of course, it's a kind of art, and there are multiple questions you need to be able to craft, and create for your client, but you need to be all the time in that area of positive intention behind belief, other ways of, implementing that positivity, new strategy to do that, and eventually what you will discover that your client does not need anymore to believe in that. Okay, Svetlana, more or less, does it make sense? Did they answer your questions?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Svetlana, thank you very much. You can mute your microphone. Guys, we spent, yeah, that's what happens with the real, with the real situations and the real practice. The practice takes time. Guys, right now we're working 1 hour, and I planned to go through 3 reframing patterns, and we were able, to cover just 1. Guys, it's totally okay. I mean, that will happen again and again. No worries. I just hope that that particular procedure will make sense. And so we will be practicing another. Let me just go quickly through some example. For example, guys, I'm just going to give you one more example. For example, someone tells you, or client said, it's hard to make money. Yeah, please look at your screen and you will see how that reframing with a positive intention pattern could start with. Yeah, it's hard to make money. Yeah, that's what limiting beliefs is. And you see what we can say. You as a client, you could say, you as a coach could say, yeah, it's a fact that that percentage of rich people is much less than middle class or poor people. Acknowledging the fact that the money hard to make probably allow you to be prepared and not to be frustrated in case of failures. Is it right? Well, probably one of the positive intentions could be behind that particular belief is that person will be ready if there will be difficulties or will be multiple failures. The person already ready. That's obviously the positive intention behind having that belief. If I believe it's something hard, well, it prepares me already. If I'm gonna fail, and if I start doing it and then I fail once, twice, 3 times, then that belief obviously prepared me in advance. I will not be surprised. I knew it's hard to make money, so I'm not surprised that I tried 25 times and so far I haven't made any money. So the positive intention behind that belief to prepare me against difficulties which I might face. Yeah. So you see that positive intention could be to face reality or to see the truth. Be prepared, avoid frustration. Isn't it a great positive intention to avoid frustrations? Guys, does it make sense how we are kind of helping our client to elicit positive intention behind seems like a pure negative limiting belief? And yeah, we start from there. And when our client become aware, then we start the next steps of reframing. Yeah? And what we will be going through next sessions is redefine reframing pattern and consequence reframing pattern. Yeah, you see that what consequence reframing pattern is all about. So we will be practicing and practicing and practicing. And guys, if you would consider to join, I will send you all information about Headway lab and what kind of levels of practice you could have. If you are joining this particular free webinars, of course, that would be one level of practice. Another level of practice would be to join real practice group, to join our Trello board, and that's where we'll be going through the hundreds of examples, like the one which I just showed you. And for example, right now you have example of it's hard to make money, but we'll be going through lots of I would say dozens of limiting beliefs, and you could practice how to apply positive intention, redefine, and consequence patterns. I will send you information about different levels of participation in the lab. But as for now, yeah, I thank you very much for you joining our free version of lab. And of course, we practiced a little bit today as well. and I hope it's already kind of better than having no practice. You see that one thing is to hear theoretical part, another thing is to implement it in a real situation. That's where real practice is. So next time we'll be working through your coaching circle with your partners or real coaching clients. Try to implement positive intention reframing pattern. Every time when you hear some limiting belief, please ask several questions in order to elicit positivity behind that belief, and be there and ask more and more questions in order to reframe it inside of the limiting belief without direct fight against it. Okay? Well, thank you very much, guys. Svetlana, Jen, Jelani, Irene, Erika, Afis, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the name is, Afis Kutin. In the future, when you are entering into the classroom, would be really nice to have names kind of clearly stated so I could address you. And thank you very much for today's participation. I will be sending you a recording of this particular session, and also clear information how you could benefit from Headway Lab. Yeah, and of course, please don't miss our next webinars, because we have it every Thursday, the same time, 8 p.m. UK time. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys, and see you next week. And please check your email boxes for further information. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.